I have a lot of clients that are in food and beverage because of my background starting frozen yogurt brand, as well as working for a Fortune 500 company in coffee in the franchise space. So I understand this world extremely well, and this is what I have to say about the industry today. Thinking about the future, brand is so important. Your brand is very important today because customers relate to brand, they relate to story, they relate to all of that. Now, here is the hard part and the challenging part with food in cities like San Francisco, things like that. So the city and county of San Francisco didn't want the big tech companies having on-campus dining because it started pulling away from local restaurateurs who had restaurants down below where people would normally walk, they would grab their lunch and all that. So a lot of tech companies, they like having dining in-house because you can eat faster, you can have meetings over meals, and sometimes a lot of these meals are subsidized where it costs only $5 for great food. Well, the challenge is if you own a restaurant and the majority of the workforce is up dining in the office, you're still paying expensive rents in an urban city, and good luck trying to survive. So the landscape is changing. It's changing quite a bit. One of the things that I always said that I would create a commissary in the city, because here is the issue. The restaurant business brand is so important, and now with COVID, people are opening, they're closing, they're opening, they're closing, they're losing food product, they're losing all these different things. It's a very challenging industry to begin with. We know that alcohol sales drive a lot of restaurant business as well because of margin. Margin is better on alcohol, so having a full service establishment is great. So here we go now with the next generation. The next generation is literally being trained to like everything, to share everything on Yelp, to favor things like Uber, and click of a button, you rate something. So you look online nowadays and you see a product with 5,000 five-star reviews. You have immediate social proof, you have immediate consumer trust, you have immediate brand equity for private label brands sometimes. You think about Amazon Coffee, the Solimo brand for coffee. They have thousands of reviews, very high quality, because they have different partnerships for private labeling where they're getting great quality coffee and they're putting it with the Amazon label. So this long term is challenging because we're in a nation that loves capitalism. We love the best deal. We love things for cheaper and bigger, supersize it. That's the mentality that we've created in this country. So if you are a local restaurateur, a local restaurant owner, you have to understand these things because these things can impact your business. And if you're thinking about starting a restaurant today, you need to do extra due diligence because the landscape is changing. And in 10 years from now, restaurants will not be like they are today. They will be different. How you get food delivered, all these things are changing rapidly. And in 10 years from now, I'm telling you, in big cities, there will be central commissaries. You will literally order your food from five-star place for $3 for your tacos. You're not even gonna probably know the brand, but you're gonna see that it has 20,000 five-star reviews for tacos, and you're gonna go, wow, yeah, I want that. And perhaps Uber has the whole market on that if they continue to do what they do. And that's what we're seeing with Amazon, we're seeing with these big companies, is they're almost creating a monopoly where, yes, they do partnerships with Uber Eats, they take that, but the fees that these companies charge to a lot of people, it's not sustainable for these small businesses and these restaurants. Yeah, they might get a few extra sales, but the fees that they have to spend to be on different platforms, it's truly not sustainable. So then what happens? We either have more regulation, more policy in place to keep things the way they are, or if the model changes with the lack of regulation that's currently in the marketplace today, then you can have a big central commissary and literally on your phone, just pick what you want to eat with a 5-star of 10,000 reviews for tacos, for fish, for whatever it is that you're hungry for. I don't know, ice cream. And that is how the world of food will change. And when you go in restaurants, you will see less people because the robotics, the different things that are going on. It's already going on in China, the robotic kitchens. We have some in the Bay Area. Different things like that are evolving. So it's all about margin. It's about increasing your profit margin in business. And the reality is, should you go in a food and beverage business today, you really need to think twice because the landscape is completely changing, and what I'm telling you is not that far off. It really is not that far off. So the commissary model is the future. It's expensive to have restaurants in San Francisco. It's expensive for takeout, for delivery, and for one restaurant to bear all those costs. Here's the alternative to that, and I want to give you this because this is really where I think we should go instead of this commissary model, which we could go, and that's the monopoly model. and that's the model that will put a lot of small business owners out. We need to get healthcare on track. It is so expensive in this country to have healthcare. For you as an entrepreneur, it's extremely expensive. If you have been an employee your whole life or the majority of your life, I see a lot of people are out of touch because they get given healthcare, they get given different things. But for entrepreneurs, we know that the cost we spend for our health insurance for a small business, maybe a restaurant with 10 employees, 20 employees, that is the bulk of America. You look at the bulk of small business out there today, a lot of these businesses, are 20 employees, maybe 30 employees. So when we look at that, we need to create better platforms where entrepreneurs can have cost-effective healthcare, where they can have cost-effective insurance and different things like that. Buying groups with food. When you think about if you get your Cisco or US Foods delivery and it comes on a certain day, you should be creating a co-op in your area with other buyers where you can literally buy on mass scale, figure out the legal stuff, the structure of that contract, so that way you're not on the hook for everybody's order. But a co-op, a buying group is the future, because these drops where you have to spend $500 a drop and all that, it's very difficult for a restaurant. So you need to start thinking about how you can work collaboratively if you are a small business owner, because that is the future. It's no longer trying to do it on your own. The costs are going through the roof. We all know that if we're in this industry. So I hope these tips help you think about the future, about your business today in the food business, as well as should you start another restaurant. What does that look like down the road? And the power of brand, the power of story, the power of reviews. If you're not taking that seriously and you're not trusting the digital space, or you don't know enough about it, hire me, give me a call. We'll talk about everything for free. We'll go through everything. I'll teach you about online strategies of why branding is so important, as well as these smartphones, the reviews, how to get better reviews, and all these things, because brand equity is key and it goes by stars now. So you may have a really cool name, you may have a great brand, but understand brand equity is shifting into stars. If you have more stars, more likes, more this, more that, the next generation, that's what they're looking for. They see that quickly and they go, wow, okay, let me go there. Trust me on this. Move your business forward and think about digital strategy as well as the landscape and how you can reduce your costs through collaborative efforts starting now.